Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making beans flour as seen in the video. So guys, I get my raw beans. Here I measured out about 3 pintas plus 3/4 pints, and I'm going to pick it very well, ensure that every dirt is out of it. So I start to bring out my basins. I used basins, bowls, measured out. My intention was to get 3 pintas of peeled washed beans at the end of this whole thing. So I decided to do it in batches. I first of all measured out 1.5 pinta of beans so that it's not going to be so much, because when you add water to these beans it's going to rise and it's going to be very bulky if the basin or bowl is too full. So first things first, I pour the beans, pour some water, allow to soak for about 10 minutes and pound. The essence of this pounding is just to remove the skin, not necessarily pounding it to grind it, but to just help remove the skin. And this is me. So the next thing I do is to use my hand to rub these things, rub the beans against each other so that the beans peels can easily pull out. When you are done rubbing this, you increase the water in the bowl, use your hand to shake it around so that we can have enough beans peels floating at the very top. So guys, as you're adding the water, once in a while you scrub this, because this thing is quite much and all the peels are not going to remove at the same time. So you have to be patient with these while also being fast so that it doesn't soak too much in the water. Increase the amount of water, shake it up, rub it as much as you can, and then sieve it, pass it through a strainer into another bowl so that you save the chaff and also have the water to yourself. One pro tip when doing this is that you need to keep reusing the water, because you will have to turn over multiple times. I did this for about nothing less than 20 times. It was more than that, but let's just peg it at 20 times. At some point I had to divide this when I had removed about 70% of these peels or chaff. I had to divide it, do it in smaller batches so that I can finish very easy. Can you see the amount of chaff I got out from this? So you continue rubbing so that the ones that are still stuck will get off. After rubbing, repeat the same process of passing the water through a strainer and then into a bowl. The essence of this is to get out the chaff while you save the water, because you can't keep changing water. So you have to keep repeating this. I changed my water just once. As I started with this one, then along the line when it was almost clean, I had to change the water. But for now, we have to keep repeating this. You can see at this point we're about, let's say 50-60% done, or let's say 65-70% done at this point. And this was when I shared it into smaller bits, and you can see that the chaff coming out is just very small. So there are ones you have to pay attention to while picking out with your hands. Pick them out properly. You can see at this point I've changed the water. You can see the water is cleaner now. So I change the water, use it to repeat several processes, and look at it. My beans is done. So I transferred this into bowls. This was after I was done with all the beans. It took me time. It took me a good number of hours to get this done. I kept them in strainers so that the water can strain off. And I got this local mat, my local flat basket. My people call it akbala. I use it to spread this. Now take a look. When I finished this, it was already 5 o'clock, the sun had set, so I placed it in my storeroom using the fan. So the next day, when the day was bright, I went to go and buy this particular net. I went to those that sell carpentry things, building material things. They sell this rubber net, about 2 yards. Then I use a table, place the carton underneath. The essence of using this akbala, or one big importance of using this akbala, because when you had finished, you removed it from the strainer or sieve. It still had some water, so it is going to drip out through those holes underneath the basket, so that the water don't, so it doesn't take time to dry. So because I took this outside the house, I had to cover it with this rubber net. The essence of covering it with this rubber net is to ensure that flies do not perch directly on these things. This is food. You have to take food safety measures to avoid food poisoning. And housefly, in terms of food poisoning, housefly is on the top ladder. It's one common vector that poisons food, because it goes to a lot of places, dirty places, and then to transfer its stuff on our food. After some hours, I come, turn it around, ensure it's drying. So by the time the first day was gone, the first 24 hours was gone, the water in the corn had, dripped off, dry to an extent. So it was just remaining it for it to become crispy. There was no water dripping anymore at this point. So what I did the next day was I had an extra roofing sheet in my store. So I brought it out and I scrubbed it. You can ensure you wash it very well. After I washed it, I got my beans and made sure the zinc was at the center of the table to avoid sliding off. Got my beans, properly spread this. The essence of using this zinc is this. The zinc is metal and it conducts heat. So when the sun is hitting the zinc is also hot and it's going to aid in drying of these beans faster than you expected. That was why I used the zinc. As usual, I go back with my rubber nets. I went the extra mile of using clips to ensure that I clip this thing all around, so that I don't want to hear stories of the breeze blew it away or somebody altered or tampered with it, stuff like that. At all costs, protect your food. So when this was done at this third day, after 72 hours, I had this very crispy beans. It was perfectly dried. So I measured it. At this point, I had 3 complete painters of peeled, washed and dried beans. So in a bag, I took it to the market. I didn't want to start testing the muzzle power of my blender. I just took it to the local grinding stations inside the market and ground this. And I got 2 nylon bags and it was perfect. It was smooth. I mean, the lady that did the job did it so well. At this point, it was still hot, so I allowed it to cool a bit, and then I went ahead to store this in an airtight jar. There are a lot of things you can do with this beans flour. You can make akara with it. You can also make very delicious moi moi. It is very convenient. The next day, which was a Saturday, I made akara with this beans flour and it was perfect. Guys, in the next about 50 seconds or more, you're going to watch the process of how I made this akara. I'm using very few ingredients, which is majorly salt, pepper, combined together, give it a whisk, fry, mix in water and fry. Guys, this akara was perfect. It was really nice. And one thing I liked about this is that the beans I used was the perfect match for making akara. It rose very well. Like once you just add water, mix it, it just rise up. So guys, please subscribe. If you are new here, thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to my channel, watch video to the end, like, share and comment. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. Look at how golden it is. Golden brown. You would think it's even roadside akara, and it tasted really good. Look at inside mine, quite airy. It's not soaking up oil. And I made pap to pair with this because you know that akara and pap goes very well. So I just added sugar, milk and dished it. So don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next vlog. Bye.